On this week's Nonsensible podcast,
I've just been having dreams about weird people asking me what are you so scared of? What are you so scared of?
And I see something down there kind of swirling around.
I'd start over everything. Fuck this.
And tried to go back and I was like, no, you can't do that. And he's like, fine.
This is Nonsensible.
This is Nonsensible
With Dave
and Sam. Back again. It feels like it's been months.
So you guys don't know, but we moved out of our studio at in Gangnam. We're gonna find a new studio, so we had a little bit of downtime.
Moved into a flower shop.
Well, I'm not actually sure what this location is. I've been told that it is used for bridal parties, or Instagram photos. I'm not sure.
And weird burlesque sex shows. Some feathers over there because Dave gets free.
Are they not just tickle me Elmo? That's it's a furniture. I looked at Instagram and it's like a furniture gallery.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
But there's not a lot of furniture. There's like a table.
All right, let's get off the subject of what this place is. Let's move on, Sam. Let's keep this going.
All right, so we've got obviously we've got guests with us today. We've got a face that viewers will know.
I imagine that they know her more than me.
Well, I was going to say in terms of our show, people know you.
Oh, okay.
Because you've
What's
been
up,
on the
y'all?
show.
I'm so happy to be back.
Yeah. How many times have you been on the show now?
This would be the fifth, right?
The fifth time. Yeah.
Go ahead and reintroduce yourself to possible new guests.
Hey, I'm Saul Goode. What's up, guys?
Woo.
Hey.
Yeah.
And we have
Ashley.
I just met her too, so nice to meet you,
You were
Ashley.
going for something. It didn't
I was
quite
going
work.
for something, but I realized I forgot her name.
Yeah. No.
Thanks, Dave.
At that moment.
Nice and honest. Nice and honest. We've got Ashley joining us today, of course. Recently, Ashley's just started a podcast at Dive Studios as well.
Yes, with Peniel and BM called Get Real.
Yeah.
Right on.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank
That's
you.
a much better name than Nonsensible.
Shut
I
up.
like Nonsensible.
That's a pretty cool name.
I'm
What
just
are you talking about?
mad
Better than
because-
part-time cooks.
No, part-time cooks is fire. Come on. No, I just wanted it to be called Knife Talk.
Oh, yeah,
That's the
you
only
wanted-
reason that I'm fun with the name.
Hey, you can keep that for your own podcast.
Yeah.
We've just left it hanging out there. So you can grab it.
Yeah, I need that.
Yeah.
I need that.
Who are
Knife
you to
Talk.
talk about
KT.
names? Your rap name is Saul Goode.
Isn't that great?
No, do Better Call Saul?
Yeah, but I made up the name Saul Goode before that show was even popular.
All right.
It's
I didn't even know what it was.
great. I'm not sure if I'd call it great. It's not bad.
It's
It's not.
punny.
It's punny.
Yeah.
Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Punny.
Do you like it?
Saul Good.
Yeah, it's pretty cheesy. It's pretty cringy,
Now it's
right?
cheesy. But how was I
Be
supposed to know
honest.
that it was
Please
gonna
be
get so
honest.
Wait, is that your rap name?
big? Yeah.
Saul Good?
Yeah.
Of course, it's not his real name. I don't think his
mean, no,
parents
No,
would
some
name
people
it.
think it's my real. A lot of people think I'm Jewish.
I thought it was his real name. No, I thought it was his real name
Oh,
initially.
really?
Yeah.
What's your real name?
Ryan Mayani. I'm actually thinking about changing my
Mayani,
rap
get
name
outta
to
here.
Ryan Mayani.
That
Yeah.
sounds so much cooler to me.
You like that?
Yeah, Ryan Mayani. Get over here, Ryan Mayani.
Yeah, I just
That's
spent
super
my whole
Italian.
I spent my whole childhood having
Mayani.
teachers call me Miani and not saying and Ryan Miami and all this stuff that I never wanted to use it as
Ryan Miami.
my real rap
That's a
name.
good rap name.
No, it's not.
No.
That's
But, you know,
I'm
just
just
sounds
giving him a hard time.
Oh, that's a sleaze bag name.
one of my super hip friends. Gabe has good taste. You guys have very similar taste in music.
Yeah.
The other day he was like, I've been thinking about what we're going to change your rap name to, and I think it should be like Ryan or Ryan Air or just Ryan Mayani.
Ryan Air,
Yeah.
like the Irish airline.
Yeah, but I guess that's
It
already
charges
taken.
like $3 for a flight.
Yeah. Because we could get my raps get you.
You just
high,
ruined a
yeah.
potential sponsorship.
Oh, is that what you were going for? Paid
Yeah.
sponsorship with
Yeah.
Ryanair.
Yeah.
Ryanair.
So I didn't know that was an airline.
Ashley,
Yes.
for some of the listeners of yours who may not know who you are, but I'm sure they don't. They all know who you are. Do you want to give us a brief introduction?
Yes. Hi, my name is Ashley Choi. I was in a girl group called Ladies Code from 2013 to 2020. And now I am a DJ at Arirang Radio on a program called Sound K. And I've been doing podcasts with BM and Peniel. And I also make YouTube videos. Yay.
Oh, right
Nice.
on. You do YouTube.
Yeah.
Yes. I just started.
You just started.
I mean,
You've
like,
got something in common with everybody a little bit.
Yeah.
YouTube,
Music,
music, acting, Arirang Radio.
Yeah.
yeah.
Podcasting? Yeah. I used to do Arirang Radio.
Why are you staring at me like that, Sam?
It's been so long since I've
He was
seen
just
you.
staring at me with those baby blues. Like,
Because every time you walk into the room, you have a bigger muscle than you did the time we last saw you.
Is
The
it
triceps are out of control in that black shirt.
is it so wrong to look at you? I must admit that he's folded up his t-shirt a little bit higher than normal, like as if to say,
got a
have a
lady
look at
guest.
my
What do you
bicep.
expect?
Do you remember the movie Dumb and Dumber? You remember when
Yeah.
they went to Aspen? They filmed that on those triceps. I could see Jim Carrey skiing down them now, chasing after that beautiful redhead woman.
I'm surprised he doesn't have a tattoo of that on his bicep. He's got so many random tattoos there.
Oh my gosh, do you have a black lady tattoo?
yeah,
Are you,
know Black
kidding
Lady?
me? Yes,
Yeah.
I'm a huge Sailor Moon fan.
Same. I love Sailor Moon.
Oh my gosh, that's so
Yeah.
awesome.
Oh, I'm surprised you know her name. Most people are like, "Oh, Sailor Moon." I'm like, it's Black
Oh, that's
Lady,
not
but
Sailor
whatever.
Moon, it's
Yeah.
Black Lady.
Sick. Who needs
Future,
Tinder?
yeah.
Oh my
Black Lady and
gosh.
Sailor Moon are two different things.
Yeah, she's the
She-
villain.
She's like a villain, but she's technically her like daughter from the future, just a
She
evil,
gets-
weird.
yeah,
Yeah, it's a weird
possessed.
story.
Wow.
I love
it's the best.
See,
Yeah, you gotta
this is what it's about. This is what the more and more you talk to people, it's like an onion. You know, one layer comes off one. See, who would have thought that you would have had this connection?
Right
Yeah.
on,
Yeah.
I recognized it right away. Yeah.
I don't know.
Nice.
For Sailor Moon, I mean, for Sailor Moon,
Nice.
right?
Just briefly, so what's been happening in your life?
Yeah, Dave. and I
Besides,
still,
cooking.
Still done a couple of. Oh, you've been watching my cooking.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm working on a solo album, and I'm having a lot of fun making new songs. And I'm cooking noodles and Sichuan food a lot, like you've
Are
seen.
you going to be opening a restaurant? Are you going to be doing cooking content? What's
No, cooking's just a passion. You know,
Are you good?
I want to be.
I mean, I've seen his stories. It
we
look
don't
good.
know.
It looks
we
okay?
It
Yeah,
looks delicious.
It looks
Uh-huh.
delicious.
I actually had to question whether or not Saul was in a restaurant, like filming
Oh.
food from a restaurant, or he'd actually made it
Oh.
himself.
Yeah.
Really? So
This
the
guy's
visual
good at
was on point too.
The visual was definitely on point.
Thanks. It's kind of hard though. I'm trying to learn like wok cooking, like Sichuan style.
Oh.
But you know, it's like a small Korean kitchen, so
Yeah.
I'm scared of setting it on fire for one, and then also like putting it on my Instagram with one hand while throwing food up in the sky with the other. But yeah, thanks for saying it looks good.
Hey,
Anyways, regardless.
if you do consider opening a restaurant, doing a pop up or something in the near future, reach out to me.
Let us
Sick.
know.
Yeah.
Oh, that's thanks.
Yeah,
Let us
Why?
know.
Will do.
you know, maybe you know, I'm looking at expanding my business opportunities.
Ooh.
Me too.
What, you're looking for investments, or you're looking to invest? Are you asking for money, or are you
Everything.
looking at investing into something?
We'll
I
talk
couldn't
about
quite
this
tell.
later.
I couldn't quite tell there. Okay. Moving right along. Tell us about. This is the magic jar where we have different topics that sit in here. It's kind of like a fortune cookie.
Let's have our new guest pull one out.
Excuse me?
Let's have our new guest pull one
Our
out.
new guest's name would be?
Ashley.
Okay, just checking.
Depends. Do you have
Just checking.
do you have a cat allergy, Ashley? Because there's
I-
calico cat hair inside of that jar for sure.
Dave has like 10 cats
Really?
and
Yeah,
a
I got
dog.
lot of
I am
cats.
allergic.
Really?
hmm
You might want to stay away from that jar.
How allergic are you?
I didn't know, but I went to my friend's house and she had 4 cats, and then I started like tearing and my snot started coming out. So that's when I realized, oh, I'm allergic.
So don't get too close to Dave because
He's got pills.
Oh,
No, by his front door of his apartment. He doesn't have them on him.
I thought he might have brought one for me.
You don't carry your allergy pills with you, do you?
This is just for continuity because we talk about this on our YouTube videos sometimes. Sorry.
Yeah. It's just a long.
Look at him getting the plugs in. He's getting them
running
everywhere
joke.
today.
We've made like 4 YouTube videos together, 5 YouTube videos together, and every time I clown him about how my nose is itching
Because of
the
his
cat
cats.
hair.
Speaking of plugs, you could get some plugs for that head of yours.
Oh, horse!
Hey, thanks, Sam.
Boom.
You had my back.
Yeah.
That was the first time Sam's ever had my back.
Hey.
Oh,
Hey.
Sam's
don't
never
be
had
like
my back.
you got to give him positive reinforcement.
Don't be
Oh,
like
that's right,
that.
like a dog.
What? Like a dog?
Yes, there you go.
All right. So tell us about the weirdest thing you accidentally witnessed.
Oh man, the first thing that comes to my head are my parents.
Yeah,
Because
really.
I actually accidentally witnessed that and it was real awkward.
Can you tell us about that?
Dave has obviously walked into,
I didn't.
was it the bedroom?
No, it was. I.
What, it was in the
The
lounge
living
room?
room?
No. I
Laundry room.
I came home early from school. I was in like 8th grade or something, and I was in a pretty. I was still. I didn't know. I knew the general idea of sex, but I didn't. Understand the. It, deeply. I was still watching stuff like Sailor Moon and Dragon
Yeah.
Ball Z and stuff. I wasn't. And I get home early from school, and my parents' door is open, and I just hear the loudest noises I've ever heard in my life. And I don't want to replicate. I don't want to.
No,
Please
we
don't.
don't want you to
They were
replicate
just-
it.
And
I've seen photos of your parents. Like if you replicate
this is
no,
getting so weird. This
no,
conversation.
I'm just saying if you replicate noises, it's just going to change my whole image.
And his father plays the guitar like Carlos Santana, so he makes love like a machine. Really, his dad's like a professional guitar player,
It's like the point. Bow chicka wow wow. Does he play that? Bow chicka wow wow.
You're a creep, dude. Anyways, but I walked in and they heard me walk in, and it went from like volume max to volume 0, and I was just like, oh man. And these were like intense noises. So, yeah, I was pretty scarred as a kid from that. I didn't-
Well, you have to look at the positive. At least your parents had a very strong relationship.
Mm.
I guess.
Well, but
No, I know what you're saying,
like you. What? How old were you at the time?
but like 14.
See, I know a lot of people whose parents had already been divorced by that time of their life.
Jesus. Yeah, I guess you're right.
So to look at it like that, like they've still got a relationship that's
Yeah,
strong,
that's true.
and
they're still
they're
married.
still married.
Yeah, it's been like 50 years or something like 50, 60 years or something like that.
Wow.
so I mean that's
50 years.
that's something that I think most like when you get married, that's something you'd want to attain, right?
Sex?
No, of course. No, I mean like a long-term relationship.
Crunchy dredgy bar?
You want to be able to you don't want to get married for like 5 years and get divorced, do you?
Yeah, no.
Yeah. Nobody wants that.
But yeah, it was a pretty awkward like next day with my parents because I think they realized
Because
that
you ran away from home with a stick with a handkerchief on it. That
He's
Dad,
tied-
you shred, but I'm out of here.
you put the bandana on the end of it and put all your earthly possessions in the end of the stick.
yeah, we got the gist of the joke. Let's move on.
Oh,
My
wait.
parents smashing.
Yeah, that's insane.
You ever had an awkward incident that you walked into?
Nothing compares to that, I'm sure.
Nothing that I walked into, but witnessed. Yeah, I mean, your story reminds me of the time I saw Pavari Man. What would you call a Pavari Man? in
Like
English?
a flasher.
Yeah, flasher. And then this was
Wow.
like in my neighborhood, which is like filled with kind of like grandmas, more like elders. This was when I lived in Songbukdong, and then
This is in Korea.
yeah, in Korea. So this guy had a Bape hoodie on, and you know how you could zip it all the way up
Yeah.
to cover your face. So he had that on, and I was passing by, and he was in this little alley like this, and I see something like like down there, kind of like swirling around.
Swirl.
And so literally
like Bruce Lee with nunchucks.
like literally flinging it around. And I was walking home, so because I felt, I sensed some like someone moving, I looked, and then, he had this weird hoodie on, and then it was something was moving, so automatically my eyes went there, and then I was still walking, so I just walked by, and then like 2 seconds later I stopped and I was like, what the hell did I just see? And then I realized that, it was his
flashed.
and then I saw him again. I think he was like,
You saw him again? Is
yeah,
this the
he was
local-
always in that
There was one in
neighborhood.
Boondong, a guy in Boondong who used to do that all the time back in the day too.
But was he in a
Wonder if
Bape
it's
hoodie?
the same guy.
Was he in a Bape hoodie?
No, I don't think so. I think he had the classic
No,
trench coat.
he would ride his motorcycle, and me and my members would walk, and he would stop his motorcycle in front of us, and he would flash us, and then get on the motorcycle and drive off again.
Was he like a fan?
Did he know?
No.
Do you think he
No.
knew who you were?
No. I just think we got unlucky witnessing that twice.
Just like 7 K-pop stars walking down the street, and the guy pulls up on a motorcycle. It's
Yeah.
So he was wearing a Bape hoodie, but he had nothing downstairs.
She said it
no,
was
like he
swinging.
like unzipped it.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
That's damn Nigo with those Bape hoodies.
Yeah.
Like it's like you can turn people into bandits with them.
Watch
Like-
out, trench coat. Whoever makes trench
Yeah.
coats.
Burberry's
coming
in,
for you.
Burberry's in trouble now. Like even in Korea, they call it Bubble Man, which is like,
Yeah,
Burberry.
Yeah.
Like taking that away, that's for sure.
Well, my roommate in college used to sleepwalk. And I walked in I was sitting on the couch watching him sleepwalk, and he sleptwalked over to like the bookshelf and pulled out his thing and tried to pee on all of the books. And I was like, hey, buddy, you can't pee there. You can't pee there. And in college, everybody called me Zan. And he just turned around and goes, get out of my life, Zan. And tried to go back. And I was like, no, you can't do that. And he's like, fine. Pulled his pants back up and walked to the kitchen and took like the dish rack. And you know how there's like the part with like the little holes in the bottom so you can put your knives and
Yeah.
Oh,
your
yeah.
spoons and stuff. He just decided to like pour himself a glass of water in there. And of course, all of the water just like falls, goes back through the holes. And so he drinks nothing and goes back to bed. But yeah, he would do stuff like that. I would just witness him do wild stuff, like drink fake glasses of water, try to pee on bookshelves,
Wow.
and all this stuff all the time. It was just weird to watch somebody
I don't
sleepwalk.
I don't get the concept of sleepwalking. That's crazy for me.
Yeah,
I've
it's
never,
scary, right?
I've never done anything like that.
Well, I think sleepwalking is obviously it's a medical condition, so very few people do it. But a similar thing would be getting wasted and doing something stupid while you're drunk, and I'm sure you've done that many a time.
I kept my other friend's name anonymous, but my boy Pat, he wouldn't give a fuck if I told you this.
What's his surname?
You know how they used to have the those Apple laptops that were white?
Yeah,
He used to get fucked up like every single weekend, and 2 or 3 times he snuck into a random person's room sleepwalking and opened up one of those white laptops because he thought that it was a toilet and pissed on it.
my
And he got kicked off of campus because of that.
Really?
Yeah.
That's the same guy.
No, this is
A different guy.
I kept the other guy's name as
Both of
Buddy
them were
'cause
sleepwalking.
he's like an accountant. I didn't want to fuck him
Both
up.
of them
But
sleepwalk.
Pat's just like a shredder and like a metal band. He doesn't give a shit.
Wow.
Yeah, but yeah, I think Pat's thing was more of like being blackout drunk
Damn.
as opposed to sleepwalking.
The weirdest thing I've actually witnessed. There's a couple of things. What comes to mind was similar to what Ashley was talking about. I was on a bus to the airport. You know how buses kind of sit up a little bit higher than the regular traffic? So it was early in the morning and I was, just looking out the window as you do. And I looked down at the car next to me and there's a guy in his business suit on his way to work. And he's pleasuring himself in the car, like on his way to work. And I'm just like, this is the most bizarre thing I've seen in my entire life.
Wait, in Korea?
Yeah.
Where is it? Keep going.
And it's like, it's one of those things you see it and you're like, I'm not looking back at that. But we're stuck in traffic and the car's not going anywhere. He's in an SUV because he's in an SUV, so he's a little bit higher than the regular cars. And
So you just assume
I guess he's assuming that nobody's looking. But yeah, it's kind of and then he's kind of stuck his head out the window, maybe trying to see some girls out there, and then he's seen my ugly mug.
Yeah.
And he's like, what? Put his head straight back in, and then he's just peeled off straight away. I don't know where he did a U-turn or whatever.
But he was driving while doing that?
Well, we were stuck at traffic. So he was just, we're at the red light, and he was just, going at it.
Dude,
It's like-
one of my other metal friends had the exact same story, except for the guy was like in a high speed chase with him, and he had these like beautiful metal locks, and he's just staring him dead in the eyes while he's doing it. Like the exact same thing that you were just talking about, but he wouldn't let him go. Like my boy was trying to escape, and the guy's just like, fuck you, and doing that while he's riding behind him.
Really?
Exact same story, but in North Carolina.
That's incredibly dangerous.
Isn't that wild?
Should always have both hands on the wheel at all times, especially when you're driving at high speeds. So we've moved up in the world. We've gone from analog to digital. Instead of getting the topic on paper, I now have it on my phone. I feel very special. Starting over. If you had to restart your life like you do during a game, would you play it the same way again or change it up? Was there ever a time where you felt like you needed a restart, whether in environment, relationships, or career? And how did you go about that kind of change?
Oh, dude.
Oh, Ashley was talking about that before we started recording.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to talk about that anymore?
Her lips are sealed.
Have their cameras rolling.
No, I like to hear other people's stories first.
I'd start over everything. Fuck this.
I'd start over who I did this damn podcast with.
I don't know. Is there a limitation to the question?
No.
Like,
So, it's all right. So think about it like this. If you're playing a video game and you get to a certain stage in the video game, you have the opportunity to restart.
But yeah, but I mean, I can.
But you've already played half of the game. If not, you've played the whole game.
What I'm asking is, we can give a stupid generic answer like, I would invest in Google, and I'd get rich and become a million, or is there a limit to the question? You can say whatever you want.
Whatever. You think.
No, I think like for me, I've had this conversation with friends before, and is if you could go back in time, or you could go back and being yourself, a younger version of yourself, generally you wouldn't retain the knowledge that you'd made throughout your life. But I think in this instance, you do retain the knowledge that you've already got. So at your age, if you were to restart, obviously there's things that you regret with what you've done in your life. It could be your career, or it could be educationally. It could be, like I said, environmental. It could be relationships. For me, if I had the opportunity, I'd definitely restart and do things a hell of a lot different from what I've done. Yeah, absolutely.
How come?
Absolutely. I talked about this on a previous podcast. For me, university was not all it was cracked up to be.
Oh, yeah.
I think if I had the opportunity again, I'd try and work on a skill set, whether it was being a plumber or a carpenter or a mechanic, something that is transferable anywhere in the world. But I just think I think I would have traveled a lot more when I was younger. I think I would have, for me, the first time I lived overseas was when I was 21, and it was here in Korea. Then
What did you originally come to do at the beginning?
I came as an exchange student.
Oh, okay.
So
being a student brought you here, right?
yeah, which is fine. But I think I look at a lot of my friends who went and on a working holiday to like England and lived there for 2 years, or, traveled around Europe. I didn't do it. I'd never gone on a backpacking holiday in my life. Now that I'm in my 40s, it's a little bit late to say, let's go backpacking and stay in a youth hostel and do all that kind of stuff. Like, I missed out on that, and I really regret it. And I think part of that was at a young age, I wasn't as independent as I should have been. Like, I didn't get my driver's license until I was like 20. Mm-hmm. So I didn't have a car when I was 18, like a lot of friends. I wasn't working as much as they were. I think if I went back, I'd change a lot of that. I think I'd try and be a better person. I was kind of an asshole growing up. Like, I wasn't the best student. I think I should have gone back and maybe like enjoyed high school for what it was. I was too busy getting drunk.
In
Yeah.
high school?
Yeah, like in Australia, when you're 18, you can drink. So in my
Mm.
last year of high school, I turned 18 in July. So half the year's gone,
Mm.
and now I'm legal. It just kind of, it killed any academic chance I had. Even if I didn't go to university, I think I should have made more effort in high school. Relationships, I'd be more outgoing, I think, as well. Like growing up, I just wasn't confident talking to women. I think I missed out on so many opportunities to have maybe not amazing relationships, but, opportunities.
That's crazy that you have so many things that you would want to change.
Oh, man. But that's, I think, retrospect, there's so many things you can think about. I'd also want to have children earlier in life. I was like 40 when I had my first boy. If I went back in time, I'd be like, damn, in my early mid-20s, I'd be like, let's have kids.
But what if living like that, going back and changing the things that, you decided to do, what if that meant like you don't have William and Bentley and you're not married?
That's what I was thinking
say
about.
things like
Right?
that.
Like that's what I mean. That's what I'm thinking. Like if I lived my life differently, doesn't mean that, my life would be totally different right now.
And that's, I guess that's the risk you run.
Mm.
I think, and like now that you've said that, that would be, that's kind of traumatic. Like if I didn't meet William and Bentley, and chances are if I'd married another woman, I wouldn't have. They'd be
Right.
two different children.
Mhm.
But when I think about them now, like William is like my best friend right now.
Mm.
Like Bentley's almost there, but like William and I we communicate at a different level to what Bentley does.
Mhm.
So like if he was no longer a part of my life, I'd be like this guy, but like 10 times worse. Like I'd just be like, I think I'd be so depressed. I wouldn't know what to do with my life. Having experienced that, like if I'd never experienced it, I wouldn't know. But yeah, when you rephrase it like that, that's just horrible.
If Dave hadn't whooped those kids' asses in Suwon, he would have never got that skull tattoo that makes his bicep look like it's smuggling fruit.
The fruit smuggler.
He's got a couple
Sounds like
sagwas.
some kind of.
What were you going to say?
I was gonna say anything.
You said you were like, what, are we going to give a cookie cutter answer to this? Or are we going to be real? It sounded like you were brewing.
I'll wait for your answer. Give me.
I'm
He is brewing.
I'm like a puppy who's just like stoked when their owner gets home. Like,
Go on. What would you change?
I was thinking the same thing as her. I'm like, yeah, there's definitely like I was a dick sometimes when I was younger, but I think that it made me a nicer guy later on in life. I think every little thing led me to this point, and I'm very happy about
No, I'm pretty content.
life right now.
I mean, I think
think
about
it's your
this.
time.
I think about this a lot too on my own time, but it's gonna get sad.
Yeah. Maybe it's
gonna
okay
get
to
sad.
get sad, right?
If you're comfortable getting sad, that's not. I mean,
I don't know. I don't know. I think it's like it was always like I kind of wish for it and I kind of don't, because I kind of wish that the members of my group kind of either debuted separately or like maybe when I don't know, just stayed in our companies, because then if the accident didn't happen, then I feel like we'd still be together. But then of course I wouldn't know them, so that's like there's that. But then I still feel like they would be happy, like living their lives and doing whatever they could be doing right now.
What accident happened?
Oh, we got into a car accident and I lost 2 of my members.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's okay. But that's something I do think about a lot, because we always thought it was cool how we all got together, but then just wish that it didn't happen sometimes. But then people are like, oh, then you wouldn't have had the chance to know them and these beautiful souls. And I totally agree, because they've left such a positive impact like on my life, and like they were my really good friends, not just members. But then at the same time, it's like I wish they were still alive, so maybe there would have been other chances to get to know them and still befriend them. But yeah, that is something I think about sometimes, and it's always like, I don't know, do I want it to change? And
Yeah.
I think like when you lose someone, that's one of the biggest things you think about all the time. Like when I lost my father, he had a brain hemorrhage, so it was like instantaneous. And you get a phone call like late at night saying your dad died. The first thing that popped into my head, and it's a horrible thought, it's like, I wish he had have got like a disease. At least I could have, had the opportunity to kind of, say things and ask questions. But, I think whenever you lose someone, there's always, obviously it's a horrible thing that you have to go through. But yeah, if they were never in your life, you wouldn't have those memories and the good times as well.
Yeah.
Wow.
I guess life is just, that's life. There's you can't change it as much as you want to. You get the cards that you dealt with and you have to kind of work with them.
That's crazy, dude. I didn't know that your dad passed away too.
Yeah, it's one of the things you deal with in life. It's never pleasant. It's never pleasant, but it's going to happen to all of us one day.
Mm-hmm.
And that's being a parent. That's like the worst thing to think about. Is,
Have you listened to the new Bob Dylan record?
huh?
I know this seems like off topic, but I'm bringing it back to it. The new Bob Dylan record that just
No.
came out. It just sounds like he's just like so prepared to die, and it's just all it's
Bob
been.
Dylan's still alive?
Yeah,
Oh,
I just
really?
saw him perform like last year.
Really? Oh, wow.
But it's all about that. It just seems like this first song just sounds like it's like a man who's like ready to die, which seems like it's such a more peaceful way to deal with death, to like just be ready for it coming as opposed to just being blindsided by it.
It's like coming back to being a father. It's like, if that's happening, does that change how you react with your children though? Like that for me would be really difficult, knowing that it's coming.
It is coming.
Yeah, but if you were to say a date and a time,
Yeah.
that would be so stressful. So stressful. If in the position to restart, I guess it's just if you want to find something, if you want to change the direction of your life, I guess you have to, find what it is that you want to change and remove that from your life. If it's your career, like for example, people want to get out of the career path they're on. Maybe you just quit your job.
The first step is that.
Yeah. I mean, it's difficult, but you say, okay, I'm not going to do my job. But then you have to find something else, another career.
Mm-hmm.
It's not easy, but sometimes you just have to take that leap of faith. And, you look at people and they want to move to another country, or if you want to chase your dreams. For example, Ashley, you came out to Korea, right?
Mm-hmm.
Having lived in America.
Mm-hmm.
There's a leap of faith there for you.
Yeah.
You're leaving family behind.
Mm-hmm.
Like that is almost like restarting in some way.
Yeah.
And that's not easy. We've all moved out here. That's a huge leap of faith, and that's how you can change things. But you're going to miss out on things. Like you miss out on your family. You miss out on what's happening back at home.
Mm-hmm.
How are you going to do that? You've just got to commit and say, let's see how it goes. If it doesn't work out, you've got time to go backwards. Give it 12 months. Try it. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work.
It's crazy how difficult it is for so many people to go back home after living in Korea. Because it's so easy to get set up and be really like comfortable here, but some people will like just stay forever and they start to realize like, oh yeah, my parents are getting old and it's time to go back. And they're just like, the first step is actually just like going home. Because it seems like a crazy thing to like, you like build this entire life here in like the most like imperative like years of your adulthood, right? Like 20s and then up to like your mid 30s or whatever. And then what do you go back to, What do you go do if you move back to America?
A lot of people move back and end up coming back.
Yeah.
Would you move back?
I mean, the only thing, the other thing I was bringing up that Bob Dylan record about is like, I've just been having dreams about like, just like weird, like people asking me like, what are you so scared of? What are you so scared of? Like and I just keep looking at them and be like, I'm scared of my parents getting old. And so like I've been thinking about it so much, and it's the dreams have been like happening ever since I listened to this Bob Dylan record, because it was just like so obvious that this man is like just trying to like tell his story one more time before he dies. Like I swear, like watch, he's gonna like I don't, of course that's like I don't want to like speak it into existence, but I feel like he's preparing for his death. And it's just like I think that really like made me realize that I'm really scared to admit that my parents are getting older and I live way too damn far away from them, you know?
Yeah. I think we all experienced that.
Yeah.
Ashley, would you be willing to move back?
I think maybe when I'm older and maybe when I have children, then maybe, yeah. But right now, I think I'm okay here.
All right. Well, that is it for another episode of Nonsensible.
Got a little bit heavy.
Just a touch. Just a touch.
Yeah.
A little bit heavier than normal. But I want to thank Saul for joining us, Ashley for joining us.
Thanks
Thank
for
you for
having me.
having me.
Yeah,
If you've
thanks for
got
having me.
any shout outs or any plugs that you want to give.
Nah. I'm just happy to be here. Thank you guys.
Yeah. Check out Get Real.
Oh, there you go.
Do it.
Yes. Listen to the Get Real podcast too. And leave nice reviews for Nonsensible as well.
Reviews.
Look at that.
A true professional.
I was going to say that, but Ashley stepped in and did it instead. Thank you very much for joining us. Of course, we'll be back again next time with more Nonsensible.
Peace, y'all.
Peace.
Bye.